Hello everyone and welcome back to Prestige Reef. Today's topic is an interesting one. Why does everyone hate me? Or to put it in a better way, why does everyone hate us? The community of people which keep saltwater fish in our own homes is incredibly tiny, but in comparison we receive an unbelievable amount of hate. The reason I've decided to do this video is because next year a feature-length documentary is being released about what terrible people we are. So I wanted to get in there first with the actual facts. I'm not going to be mentioning the name of the documentary because I don't want to be providing them with any advertising. What I will say though is I don't have high hopes for the facts they will be providing. The trailer they put out on YouTube 3 months ago is talking about reef fish, while some of the video was showing discus. Someone knowledgeable pointed that out to them in the comment section and they have now re-released the trailer featuring only saltwater fish. Come on guys, this is the basics. They also seem to be throwing out all sorts of propaganda, such as 99% of the fish die within 1 year, and that it's a gold rush and all you need to collect fish for the aquarium industry is $50. Any industry with such a high failure rate wouldn't last very long because it wouldn't be economically viable, and I haven't yet seen any collectors that are living it up in mansions and driving Ferraris. As a YouTuber, I have a reasonably large audience, as well as a responsibility to educate others and protect what we do. Hopefully, others will follow in my footsteps, creating something similar to combat what I assume will be an incredibly one-sided attack on what we love. You can help too. If you love this hobby, like and share this video with everyone you can. The more people that see it, the more people that will hopefully listen and understand that we are far from the enemy, and in many cases we're actually helping. The debate of keeping marine fish in aquariums is reasonably complex, but to simplify it, it can be divided into two major categories: impact on the fish and environment, and impact on humans. Let's start with the impact on fish. Whatever this documentary says, every single part of our livestock chain has one united goal: keep the fish alive as long as possible. A living fish is worth money, whereas a dead fish is worth nothing, and nothing motivates people to care for something more than money. In an effort to keep this fair, I accept that as with all industries, there are rogue individuals who are willing to use less than ethical practices. However, these are the minority, and these practices are rapidly being stamped out. Every stage of the supply chain is regulated by laws to protect our livestock, right from the collection where there are strict quotas, to specific areas where livestock cannot be collected, and even bans on certain species. In some countries, even common aquarium fish like chromis are banned from being collected. Prior to leaving the holding facility, all shipments have to be health checked and have an internationally recognised health certificate that travels with them. Once at the airport, the shipment is then protected by the International Air Transport Association, where shipments should be rejected by airlines if the packaging does not meet their strict standards. Should the airline accept something which isn't packaged properly, they open themselves up to potentially being prosecuted for animal cruelty. I can only speak for Europe, but once they've arrived at the destination country, customs then inspects the shipment to ensure there are no illegal species. They have all the required CITES permits, and all the animal welfare standards have been met. They are then sent to the wholesalers and shops where the fish are protected under the Animal Welfare Act. Even once in our homes, legally they are still protected by this act, which states it's an offence to compromise the welfare of any vertebrate, including fish. They are even protected to some extent by every one of us. I try to educate people with my videos, but if you've ever been on the forums, you'll see thousands of people helping to educate others. There is no better example of this than if someone posts a picture of a tang in a nanotank. Within seconds, someone would make a comment on the size issue. I accept that people don't always do this in the correct manner, but to some extent that might be down to frustration that the owner didn't do their research before making the purchase. Now that we've covered the level of international legal protection our fish have, it still needs to be recognised that we are taking a living creature out of the ocean. I'd like to give you a little bit of perspective because the anger might be directed at the wrong industry. The fishing industry is absolutely horrendous when it comes to how the ocean is treated, with 80 million tonnes of fish being removed every year, 37.5% of which is bycatch. The first thing I should probably clarify is what bycatch is. Bycatch is everything which is caught unintentionally while fishing for a target species. This can include anything from the correct species but the wrong size or gender, to something completely wrong, like whales, sharks, turtles, and even birds. This percentage is approximate as it's hard to get an exact estimate when it comes to bycatch, but is believed to be around 30 million tonnes of waste per year. To put that in perspective, that's the weight of 7.5 million African bull elephants or 82 Empire State Buildings. Bycatch is literally decimating entire species, many of which are on the brink of extinction purely because we catch and kill them by accident, most of which are then thrown back into the ocean. No species has ever gone extinct as a result of overcollection for aquariums. The entire amount our industry collects in a year is approximately 70 tonnes, or the equivalent of 17.5 bull elephants, which is 0.0023 of the amount when you compare it to bycatch. When you compare it to the entire amount removed from the ocean, in just 1 year, it's 0.000087. Even though we have such a tiny impact, we receive the majority of the hate because we're so visible and an easy target. Now you might think that bycatch doesn't affect the aquarium species we keep, but in just 1 year, 15 million seahorses were accidentally caught by industrial fishing, which is made even worse by the 4 million which were used in traditional medicine, and 1 million which were collected to be sold as souvenirs. Now if you look at the figures of how many seahorses we collect for the aquarium industry, the number is around 4,000. Once again, this is a tiny fraction of the total amount removed, and the difference is, we don't kill them. We also breed them, and even though they won't be going back in the ocean, as our techniques improve, we are gradually reducing the burden on wild populations, and our knowledge one day might be critical in saving certain species. Having learnt all this, my first question was, do the people that created this movie eat fish? I genuinely tried to find out for you, and surprisingly I was able to discover that at least one of the production staff is vegan, so he gets a free pass. Now I'm not trying to say that everyone that eats fish is evil. What I'm trying to say is that most people that eat fish don't create a hypocritical, feature-length documentary about how evil the aquarium industry is, while subconsciously condoning a much worse industry for the enjoyment of their own taste buds. I'm pretty sure I just invented a new saying. People that eat fish shouldn't throw stones at fish tanks. When it comes to the aquarium industry, there is virtually no bycatch. Occasionally, an undesirable species is collected, but the collectors soon learn what does and doesn't sell, as their livelihood depends on it and they won't catch it again. More often than not, these fish are collected from tiny islands in underdeveloped countries, where the opportunity to earn an income is very low. This leads nicely to the second part of the debate, which is the impact on humans. Our industry is able to provide trade for some of the most isolated and poorest parts of the world, generating valuable income to families who really have very, very little. It's not just collectors that benefit though, there is a ripple effect through various other industries as well. The fishermen need equipment, holding facilities, packaging, transportation, fuel and infrastructure to be able to do this, and of course the local governments benefit from taxes and permits. Ugh, some things never change. To many of these countries, a live fish is worth 300 to 400 times more than if it were dead. Therefore it's a very low volume, high value industry where there is a very limited market because there's only so many people that want to have a fish tank. It also potentially stops people from trying to survive in a less sustainable way, such as coral mining, deforestation or collecting from a different species such as turtle eggs. By putting a value on the reefs, locals become their protectors because it's in their best interest to look after them. The value isn't just for the local people either. Obviously the industry provides jobs etc. for people in the countries the fish are destined for. However, this is their lowest impact. Their impact in more developed parts of the world is in research and as ambassadors for the reefs. There are entire organisations which are using the knowledge we have learnt and shared over the years that are currently dedicated to not just growing coral and breeding fish to repopulate dead reefs, but trying to produce hardier strains to help secure their long-term survival in the wild. With regards to them being ambassadors, people care about what they can see, and seeing these fish in books and on TV only has so much impact compared to being able to see them in person. I believe that of everyone, we care about the state of our reefs more than most, because we have a real love and passion for these creatures which have become part of our day-to-day lives. We aren't perfect, we accept that, but what part of the pet industry is? Even owning something as common as a dog or cat comes with their own ethical issues, regarding generations of inbreeding, or how cats can decimate a local bird population. What I can say for sure is if you look back at how much our hobby has progressed in the last 30 years, we are constantly trying to improve and hone our skills in an effort to give these creatures the care they deserve. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe and share with everyone you can. Have a good week and I'll see you next time. As always, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that supports me on Patreon. Never underestimate the value of what you do with regards to keeping this channel going. You've all been brilliant. Thank you.